Mr. Blinken, I appreciate your being here today to testify. We all value your willingness to serve the country. The role of the Secretary of State is vitally important to protecting our national security as well as advancing American interests and our values across the globe. With this in mind, your nomination to me raises concerns. It's critically important our nation not return to a strategy of leading from behind. Many of us have spoken about the failed foreign policies of the Obama-Biden administration. Robert Gates, the former Secretary of Defense under President Obama, noted that Joe Biden, he said, quote, has been wrong on nearly every major foreign policy and national security issue over the past 4 decades. I bring this up because you were an integral part in advising both Biden and Obama on these failed foreign policy decisions. Even with years of experience in foreign policy, when it came time to make the right decisions, in your own words, you say you failed. On Syria, the Obama-Biden foreign policy failed. You admitted, quote, we failed in preventing a tragic loss of life as well as millions of people made into refugees or internally displaced, and that's something that we will have to live with. You also went on to say, in Syria, we rightly sought to avoid another Iraq, but by not doing too much, but we made the opposite error of doing too little. On Libya, the Obama-Biden foreign policy failed. Again, you admitted, you said Libya is a particularly challenging one, and I have to acknowledge that we obviously did not succeed in the Obama-Biden administration in getting that right. In Iraq, the Obama-Biden foreign policy failed. Unfortunately, you continue, I believe, to mistakenly call the withdrawal of U.S. troops in Iraq a success, but the rest of the world knows that the failure to get a status of force agreements in Iraq created a vacuum which led to the creation of ISIS. In 2014, Senator John McCain, who was a member of this committee, raised these issues, went to the Senate floor to speak against your nomination to be Deputy Secretary of State. I ask, Mr. Chairman, that his statement be submitted to the record. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. He raised concerns with your actions, statements, and decisions regarding Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, and Ukraine. Based on that record of failed foreign policy decisions, Senator McCain said, not only is Mr. Blinken unqualified, but he is, he said, I believe, a threat to the traditional interests and values that embody the United States of America. So once you were confirmed, what happened? You helped negotiate the terrible Iran nuclear deal. These botched decisions have serious consequences. I believe they embolden terrorist organizations around the globe. These failures put the lives of the men and women who serve our nation at risk, and I think it would be a grave mistake to confirm a Secretary of State who has a demonstrated track record of repeatedly making the wrong decisions when it comes to American foreign policy and national security. In your opening statement, you talked about the Chinese Communist Party who continues to commit terrible human rights abuses. I want to talk about that. You have confirmed that you believe it is genocide, that the Uyghurs, a religious and ethnic minority in China, has experienced, as you know, brutal repression at the hands of the Chinese government. What do you plan to do with within the first 30 days to address what Joe Biden has described as a genocide committed by the Chinese government?
Thank you, Senator. I was tempted to start by saying it's good to see you again. So on the Uyghurs, I think we're very much in agreement, and the forcing men, women, and children into concentration camps, trying to, in effect, re-educate them to be adherents to the ideology of the Chinese Communist Party. All of that speaks to an effort to commit genocide, and so I agree with that finding. I think we have to look at the tools that we have available to us, including some of the tools that the Congress has provided, to see what actions we can take. So, for example, I think we should be looking at making sure that we are not importing products that are made with forced labor from Xinjiang. That's one such thing. We need to make sure that we're also not exporting technologies and tools that could be used to further their repression. That's one place to start.